Right, so this boot must just sit directly over the edge of these clips. I'll just grab the other one just so I can show you. So over here, once the arm's in, it must just sit over the edge of there. It doesn't really do much other than keep the dirt and dust out, but also helps to protect it. All right, next part is going to be running the pipe from the back of the wheel cylinder all the way up to the pipe just here. So what we need to do is grab a new pipe, fit it in there. I'm going to pretty much do that up just finger tight, and then we're going to bend it into shape. Now we need to bend it over and across through here, but before we do, I do just want to make sure that we've got the new brake hose at the back here. So this one's going to go directly through here. We need to put a nut and a washer on the back of it, and then we can attach it to there. Now, before we go any further, it is also worthwhile noting, making sure that these fit. Terrific, it is the right one. Last thing I want to be doing is bending stuff into shape and thinking that you've got the right part. Lo and behold, you find out it's not, then you've got to pull it all back apart again and then destroy the nice clean bends you've just made in the pipe. All right, so we're going to grab our pipe, slide that all the way through. You're going to put a washer on there. Once the washer's on, you're then going to grab the nut. The nut is then going to tighten all the way up against the housing. Once it's tight, you're then going to get two spanners. You're going to lock this one here, and then you're going to use another spanner to tighten this one here. All right, so the awkward moment when you finish a job, start talking to the camera and realize that the battery's gone dead. So all I've done is mount this pipe just here. I've put a washer on the outside of it along with the nut. I've then tightened both of those. I've then got the steel bundy line. I've fitted it down inside the wheel cylinder. I then bent it up and across the back of the radius arm, then put the nut on here and then tighten up both ends. Now when you tighten this end, it is worthwhile noting to hold a spanner on this end. That way the entire pipe's not going to start moving and you're going to actually loosen it. So one spanner here, one spanner there, tighten up and away you go. And this one down here. All right, so the awkward moment when you post a heap of photos on Instagram thinking that people are going to love your work. Turns out you've done a couple of things wrong. What an absolute rookie. So what I actually did wrong was the two shoes were facing the same way like I showed you in the video earlier on. This little cutout here needs to be opposite this one here. So one needs to be facing the wheel cylinder, so towards the front of the vehicle. The other one needs to be facing the bottom of the wheel. So not only that, but also the bolts were in the wrong way. So they need to be facing the head of the bolt on this side and the nuts going the opposite side. Also, I did get a little bit cocky and think that this is the way that it was meant to be fitted in terms of this spring. It does need to flip over 180 degrees around, because if you have it sitting here, it's actually going to touch the hub. So we're going to quickly switch that over, put the bolts in, and then we can start on the back side of it and start the reassembly process. What we also need to do is not only put a nut on there, but we also need to run the handbrake cable guide. So this one here, there are two different ones available. There is a left and there is a right. They will only go on one way. So the U-shaped clamp, so this bit just here, needs to be facing the front. So it's going to go something along the lines of that. Now, the customer did give me the original ones. They're in not bad condition. I'll probably need to sandblast them, give it a coat of paint, and away we go. So for what it's worth, I took the initiative and I bought a new set. Actually, I just realized that these are one complete piece, whereas this one here, the old ones, had actually started to separate. So definitely worthwhile that if they're starting to look a little bit deteriorated like that, throw them straight over your right shoulder in the bin, get a new set. So they're going to sit on here just like this. One bolt's actually fallen out. So to temporarily hold it, I'm just going to stick a nut on the end, and then I'll put another bolt in from the other side, put a spring washer on there, and then we can tighten it up. All right, I'm just going to use a 1/2 inch gun with a spanner to hold these and just nip them up. All right, so that's all tight. All the brake pipes are on. We're pretty much ready to start putting it all back together. Now, next thing we need to do is reassemble the wheel bearing. If you haven't already, make sure you check it out in the link in the description above on how to assemble it. Now, these are left and right-handed thread. So the black one is a left-handed thread, meaning that on is off and off is on. The silver nut is a right-handed thread, so lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. So we need to remove this. I just had it on there just to make sure I got the right one on there. All right, let's grab the wheel bearing, let's reinstall the hub and keep it going. You just have to make sure that we line up the holes with where it needs to be, slide it down. Now, please remember, or learn from me, that what you need to do is when you run stepped drums, you actually need longer wheel studs. If you don't, you're not going to be able to put the nuts on there properly, and there's not going to be enough thread on there, so you're going to likely strip the thread or damage your wheels putting them on. All right, so I did just have to drill out one of these studs, as the securing screw for it that holds the drum down was actually broken off in there, and as much as I drilled it out, I had to keep drilling it bigger and bigger to be able to get it out. So I'm actually going to have to do a helicoil in that, but that's something we can do on another episode. It doesn't need to be done straight away, but at least we can just bolt the drum down to the hub. We should be right just to spin it. So it is off just a little bit, but it's likely because it's not clamping properly. But once you put the wheel on and you clamp it down properly, it'll probably fix it right up. Right, so as you can see, that's moving actually quite freely. Now also, I need to be able to put the cap back on here as well. It was been an absolute pain before because I don't think it's properly round in there. So it's going to be a little bit annoying to be able to try and put on, but I should be able to do it with it like this. If not, I'll just whip the drum off and have another attempt. All right, so the next part is going to be putting the rear trailing arms inside the subframe. So we're going to do one side at a time. Hopefully it'll sit here well enough to balance. I might have to put something on there to help counteract the weight of it. I do have a bag of potty mix over there, so I'll probably stick that on there. That way it's not just going to flip and destroy the Morris beside us. Because I've got Grace in here at the moment, it does make it a little bit hard for me to properly be able to work on this thing, but I'm gonna make do with the space that you have. So let's jump onto it and let's start reassembling this thing so we can get it assembled. Then the next question is, where the hell am I going to store this thing? All right, so I might as well show you how to assemble one side. Both sides are pretty much exactly the same. The only difference is really the brake pipes that run from the back of the trailing arm all the way up to the back of here, but I'll show you how to run those in a second. So what we need to do is grab our pin. Now remember that the grease nipple faces the outside, so it needs to face this way. If it doesn't, you're not going to be able to mount it on there correctly. Alright, so Tomo's tech tip is get yourself a tap and die set. The reason for that is because this has been powder coated, there's going to be a little bit of paint inside all the bolt holes where all the nuts are for the brackets to be mounted. So to save us just winding in the bolt, destroying the bolt, snapping it, we just want to clean up the thread beforehand. So these are, I don't believe they're not a 3/8, they must be a 5/16 bolt. Yep, UNF. So we're just going to grab that. We're going to run it through all of the nuts inside here just with a spanner or a ratchet. Clean up all the threads. That way when you go to put the bolts in, it's going to go in nice and smooth and we're going to have zero dramas. Alright, so all I'm doing here is just grabbing an 11mm socket. I'm just going to wind that all the way in to make sure that all of the debris and burrs that are inside there are going to go. Once you're satisfied, which that's pretty easy now, unwind it and then repeat the same process for any of the other nuts or threads that need to be repaired. Alright, next part is to insert the pin. Make sure that on the outside, so where the wheel studs are, you've got the grease nipple. There are two different thickness washers. We have a thin one and we have a thick one. The thin one is going to go on the outside and the thick one's going to go on the inside. So spring washer goes on next, followed by the nut. We've got to come back and take that off in a minute, but I just want it on there just to be able to hold it. So you want to push it as far towards the inside of the car as possible. Now you want to grab the thicker one, that'll sit on the outside and it's going to sit right up against it as well. So what we need to do here is slide the rubber seal around the outside and that will sit on there like that. Now these are quite stiff to be able to install and they do often pop straight off, so you got to kind of have 3.5 hands while you're trying to install this. Now inside the subframe is a hole in which it needs to sit in. That will go directly through there. Then on the inside you'll see that there is going to be a cutout for you to put the spring washer on, followed by the nut. Now I did just realize I made a mistake with that last comment. There are only one thickness shim that needs to go between the arm and the subframe. So it doesn't matter which way it goes, you just need to make sure you put them on. So this is where it becomes super difficult, because as I said, you do need quite a lot of hands to be able to fit these things, especially when the seals are brand new. All you want to do is just slide straight off. Try and hold that on there and lift it in all at the same time. Alright, so I've been struggling with this thing for quite some time, and it's because the seal doesn't properly sit on the trailing arm itself. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to leave it like that, or hopefully anyway, and then that should enable me to properly fit it. So instead of fitting it all the way on there, I just want it to sit on that washer there, and that way if I try and guide it in, hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll be enough that when it goes in, it'll then squash it and then push it on, because it's got a bit of a tapered edge in which it's going to push itself inside there. Let's give this a shot. See if we can juggle this. At the same time, just trying to put these nuts and the washers on. Yeah, so what I might just do is just put the nut on. That way I can start pulling it in, and then I'll come back and put the washer on it. Alright, cool. That's on there. Now, tighten it up, pull it in, and then we should be able to do these here as well. Alright, grab a 3/4 inch socket. I'm just going to tighten that up. Alright, cool. That's tight enough till it's stopped. So we should be okay now. I'll just check the bushes on the inside. Oh, what do you know? It's actually worked. It's actually pulled them straight in. So it's sitting in the exact position in which I need it to be. So next thing we need to do is mount that piece just here. So that should give us enough room with the looseness. Hopefully I might just have to loosen that off again to put these bolts in here for the end bracket. Alright, so it's worthwhile noting as well, that bracket goes on the end of there. So you do need to take the nut off, like I was explaining before. You need to take off the spring washer, and then that'll slide directly inside there. Now, this is where the fun part happens. You've got to try and get the bolts inside there, top and bottom, with this assembly in there like that. I am just going to loosen off the nut on the inside of here, which will give me a little bit more clearance, but until then, I'm going to try and just start these by hand. Once everything's started by hand, I can then start using the gun on it just to nip it up, or ideally use a ratchet or a spanner. So just slide that rubber seal all the way down to the end, and grab the bottom bolt, stick it in there. The bottom bolt is generally a lot harder to get in than the top one, just given its position and location. So I'll come back to that one in a sec. I'm also just going to put the bottom two in as well to be able to get it all lined up. Now, for some of those OG followers, you would have remembered the very first video that I did was the rear camber adjustment brackets on Grace. I got a bit of slack from a guy at the Ralston Classic in 2022 about the way that I'd fitted them. Apparently I didn't fit it correctly and it was a bit loosey-goosey. The guy was a mechanical engineer, but said it to one of my mates and not me, so very interested actually to see that guy this year, hopefully get his opinion on what I actually did wrong and how to fix it. Loosened off the nut on the inside of the trailing arm to try and get these things straightened up a bit more. These brackets are always a pain in the ass to do, just because of their position and the way they're designed and how tight it is and all that. So just be prepared to sit here for a little bit and just work it out. Alright, so I'm just going to nip those up just a little bit. I'm then going to back them off, just to try and give me a little bit of extra clearance underneath. So change of plan, what I'm actually going to do is leave this bottom one out. When I'm finished assembling all of this, I'm going to flip it over and then work the adjustment in there. That way I can get it properly tightened up and moved across. It might even be worthwhile just elongating this hole just a little bit to be able to slide it down to properly get it in there. Next thing, put the spring washer on there, followed by the nut. And we're just going to tighten it up by hand. I'm going to then loosen off the nut on the inside. And I'm going to fit the washer, refit the nut, and then we can get on to doing the other side. All right, well, I'm actually going to call it quits for this episode for now. I've done quite a lot. It has taken me a couple of days to get to this point. It is getting quite late at night, so I'm going to continue on the second episode. In the next one, we're going to reassemble the opposite side. We're going to run all the brake lines. We're going to put the proportioning valve in on the back of the subframe. We're going to mount the rear exhaust hanger as well. We're going to set up the high-low suspension and pretty much get this thing ready to go back in the car. So hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Like always, guys, stay COVID safe. I'm going to see you right here on another episode of Tomo's Tune-Ups.